traffic is already returning to what used to be Navarre Beach State Park and is now Navarre Beach County Park. The county held a ribbon cutting last week where the park was officially turned over to Santa Rosa County, and people are already starting to use it according to officials. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Rosa Week. I'm Deborah Nelson.
And I'm Jerry Cooey, and you found us on Channel 27 Mediacom every Saturday, 4:30 until 5, and also across the bottom of the screen here, you'll be able to see most, if not all, of our shows right there on YouTube, and we hope you'll enjoy them. Deborah, the beach is a topic of discussion again, and you made a trip out there for the ribbon cutting, so tell us about it.
Well, it used to be Santa Rosa. It used to be a state park. Now it's a county park. What is this park going to the county? What's this going to do for tourism in Santa Rosa County?
Well, you know, what you'll find in this area, there's a lot of tourists that actually stay on the mainland that want to come over and use the beach. The parking area over here gets pretty crowded sometimes. We have 14 accesses on the beach already. This will give us some relief. I think you'll find a lot of folks that don't want to go to the crowded beaches in Okaloosa County or maybe into Pensacola Beach that'll find this much more attractive. Navarre Beach is known for, you know, everybody says it's more laid back. I think it's just a little more open and inviting. So I think we'll see some of those day visitors come in. And tourism, the other kind of tourism you'll see when you come through this parking lot in a few days, you'll see a lot of Okaloosa County and Escambia County tags here. A lot of local tourists come here as well. So it's going to be good for the local economy, good for local businesses just to have that extra traffic available to them.
It looks beautiful, and it looks absolutely beautiful. All these miles and miles of beautiful beach and beautiful sand. We're thrilled. It's going to be a wonderful addition to tourism. You know, miles of beach and places for people to have family gatherings, lots more parking, and we have Gordon is organizing some town meetings where we can talk about all the different things that can possibly take place here, from classes for school children to concerts. If we can get a stage, there's really unlimited possibilities at this point. It's an open book, and we're thrilled. It's beaches to wilderness every weekend in October. We have things going on all over the county, and if you go to beaches-to-rivers.com, you can get a schedule or stop at the TDC in Navarre or the Chamber up in Milton, and they'll give you one of our programs. Lots of stuff going on.
So now it's a county park.
That is correct. And there's a lot of concern out there that now the county will allow development in this area.
There had been kind of a gentleman's agreement for years and years that we would not allow major development on that beach to start out with.
In fact, when I was down there filming, a gentleman actually drove by and stopped, and that's exactly what he asked me. He asked me, are they gonna start putting high rises on this property?
Right. Well, and to catch you up a little on that, we've carefully watched, and we know there is one for sure and potentially two leases that are on towards the Navarre Pier side, right at the edge there on the western edge of that property.
They're on the side. They empty onto the south side.
Right, empty on the south side. There are potentially two places that there will be a high rise.
And I'm told that these leases were set up way back when, in the early 60s.
60s, right.
And I'm also told the county actually tried to trade the leases for property that fell outside the park area, and the owners didn't want to do that. They want to hold on to it.
Well, sure. I mean, they knew they had a gold mine.
Right.
You know, my concern is, I can imagine, I've envisioned many times that at a Destin City Council meeting, a fella came in there and he said, "Come on, guys, it's just one condo. It's just one. It's not going to hurt anything. Just one. Cut me some slack. Just one." Well, just one now means that at noon you have to move your towel because the shade from the condominiums are blocking the sun off of it.
And you can see from the footage that we have of the lease site that exists inside the park area, you can see from the footage that there's a sign that says "Keep Out."
Yeah. And
then you can see the property behind it, and that's the area that I'm told is going to be a 13-story hotel. I asked Commissioner Gordon Gooden whether there were going to be any more leases allowed in the park area. And he said, no, here's what he had to say about that. Is any other part of the park slated, or do you see it being open for leases?
No.
Okay.
Now, and the reason for that, a couple of factors. Old legislation at federal level put this in the COBRA zone, coastal barrier area, and even for the folks with this hotel, they've had that lease. Is obviously over 40 years old. They're going to have to self-insure. There is no national flood insurance available to them. The rest of this area, because of the COBRA designation, the county, when they did the Navarre Beach Master Plan back in the mid-90s, and I was actually part of that effort, we set this aside for conservation. There are no other parcels. That's a plan that's actually filed with the state of Florida in our comp plan. There are no plans to go back and change any of that area from conservation, and frankly, after you get something like this, I don't know that I'd probably be one of the people leading the tar and feather pots out there to stop it from ever changing.
During your conversations out there, you did mention something about a town hall, so tell us about that.
Well, there's a lot of questions about what's going to happen to the park area now. What kind of development maybe should happen in there? What kind of amenities should be put in there for people to use? And the county's going to hold a town hall, and they're going to invite public input, and they're going to ask people, what do you want to see in the park?
You think this might be kind of like the input that we had on the high rises in Navarre before, where we had input while people are still at home with their chainsaw trying to get the tree off of their house, and they weren't able to attend those town hall meetings?
All I can say is just advise people, if you're interested in what happens to the park, you might want to show up for the public input sessions.
Right. And these will be required by law to be well advertised.
Oh yes.
And
yes.
we will make sure that we do our part to make sure you know when it is.
I actually asked Commissioner Gooden what kind of stuff might be in store for the park, and he had some ideas, and he's had people give him some ideas. Here's what he had to say as far as the future of the park area.
Some of the ideas that have come up that are pretty fascinating. We've had bird watching groups, stargazing groups. Charlene Morrow over here at the high school with the Marine Sciences class, and Christine Verlinde with the University of Florida's Extension Service. They would like to do a coastal encounters type classroom. And in the buildings over here where that car's at, there's actually a room that would be ideal for that type of classroom, where they can not only just bring in children, but tourists of all ages to learn about what you're going to see in this park, what you're going to find in the waters of the Sound, what you're going to find in the waters of the Gulf. If you've seen the Coastal Encounters programs that they do around the county at different times, it's a really fascinating, really interesting stuff what they do. And Maureen's got some really dedicated kids that are going to work with Senator Gates and DEP to try and get a grant to go ahead and build the Marine Sanctuary offshore here. So some really exciting things that go along with them. The TDC would like some space in that building. I've talked to some groups that think that we ought to consider some wind turbines out here. Most of the time throughout the year, north or south winds are prevailing, and the thought being that maybe we could generate enough electricity to power this park. And I've had some conversations with engineers and people in the wind turbine business, and we're going to do some wind testing and see if it's actually viable. There are all kinds of things: scuba, snorkeling, kayak rental, bike rental, all the things that you have to tote to the beach. There are people suggesting maybe we should allow some vendors to come out here to rent them that stuff, so they don't have to drag it all out here from their homes. But the idea of the town hall meeting will be to gather up those ideas, see what's good, what's bad, how people react to it, and then come back to potential park management people. Whether it be somebody that wants to operate the pier, or somebody wants to operate the pier and the park. Give them the opportunity to give us a proposal on managing all these facilities. And because the county, I'm with our county administrator standing right here, county's not real good at business. We may be okay at government, but we're pretty bad at business. So I think it's probably preferable to bring in a vendor that can specialize in that, and let the county have the oversight over that contract to make sure that the public's served.